Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. So we're back with another tutorial, and for this one, it's not really. I don't know. Do I call it a tutorial? Okay. So it's just like a brief walkthrough. So I'm going to show you how I create my input field, and this is most likely just going to solve or help you with a lot of issues. So I'm going to show you how I create this input field, which looks a little bit. I don't know if it looks nice, but this is how I create my input fields lately. So if you switch to dark mode, you'll notice it will also resume some typical appearance. So that's how I like my stuff. So I'm going to show you how to do that, and I'm going to show you why we need to use forms instead of just writing text fields inside here. So text fields, you can put them like this, but there are times when you might need to validate your forms. However, there are situations in my application that I don't really need those forms. So technically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you how to create this input field here at the top. So I'm just going to click on this text field, and I'm just going to navigate down. As you can see here, I removed the autofocus. I don't really want autofocus to be on. Autofocus means when you go to this page, the keyboard is going to automatically appear and focus on that particular text field. So I don't want that. So I'm going to go down and scroll all the way down. I had put this right height. I don't really need it. I'm going to show you how you could fix it. So these are things that I had made when I was just starting up with Flutterflow. So bad habits. You also need to remove this label style same as above, because your label input field is going to be light blue. Nobody wants light blue. Alright, so we're going to go down. Just scroll down, and I'm going to go to where I have my input border type. So I had switched mine from outline to none, so I'm going to make it an outline. There we go. So basically we have a border running around our application. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the fill color, and the fill color is going to be secondary. So I don't know how your color looks like, but mine is going to be secondary. Great. So now we have that. There we go. Oh, we need to put a border color. So my border color is primary text, so it's going to be the same, the color that changes based on theme. So I'm going to put the primary text right here, and I'm going to put the border width. Now my border width is not default, so I use my border width to be 0.25. Let me show you what I mean. If I go back, if I move from this text field here right now, you notice it's a little bit thick. The border itself is a little bit thicker than this one on top. So this is the border width. So I like putting my border width at 0.2 so that it kind of blends in with the, I don't know what we call this, but it does the thing. All right, so let's go ahead and solve that. So I'm going to put my border width to be 0.2, and also going to put my border radius to be 12. So I'm using my border radius as 12. So there we go. Now you're going to click on these so that you can populate all sides of the text field. So just click on this. Right, now we go to the part where we call the content padding. So the content padding is going to decide the size of our text box. So what I'm going to do, the ones I use is 20 to 24. So I'm going to start with 20, 20 up and 20 bottom. I'm also going to give on the left and right to be 13. So for both of these, they're going to be 13. So we have 20 up and 20 bottom. And here we're going to be having 13 on the right also. So it's going to be the padding. You notice it's still smaller, so you can go ahead and try 24. See here, 24 at the top. So it's really going to be based on what you want your size of the text box to look like. So if I go 24, these two matches because all of them are similar. So you notice now they are the same size. There we go. Now, this other one, you can just go ahead and play around with it. So I just show you how you do it. But let me just show you how we can do this. I'm going to pause and solve everything so that we don't have to repeat. Alright, so I've set everything up. But you realize I don't want this text field to be like this. I want it to be a text area. So what you do, we don't do the padding. Instead, what we do is we give the number of lines that this is going to be having. So you're going to scroll down and you're going to look at max lines. So we need to have like a number of lines. So I'm just going to say 5 lines. So when you put 5 lines, it's going to make it a little bit bigger. There we go. So I also have some few paddings down here, so I'm just going to remove. Okay, so I've just removed the paddings by just changing the row itself. Now there are some few things that we might need to do. So this one, you can just set these up like this or like this. I don't know. Okay, let's just leave it at that. Now there's a reason why you might need a form. Now I'll show you what a form is, but let me show you why you might need it. Now if we come to something like this text field area here, there's no way inside the page properties that we can be able to decide or maybe have a regex that is saying this has to be specifically an email. We don't have that. Now enter forms. Now this is why we need the forms. So if we go to this place here where we have access to our fields, you notice I have my fields all over here. So instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this column and I'm going to wrap it using a form. Now we have this form here, so I'm just going to wrap the column with the form. Now with the form, it's not really going to change anything on your UI, but it's just going to allow you to do some validations. Now if you come here, we have these validations here. So basically what we need to do is, maybe I want to validate the email. So I want to make sure that the email is a field that is required, and also you can put the maximum characters allowed. And now we have the text validator. Now the text validator, I'm going to make it an email, so you can use that to validate your stuff. So whenever you click on this button and then that is not an email, you're going to get an error. You can also opt to do automatic validate, which is, let's see, when selected, the text field will, let's see it, text field will validate on every character change rather than on each validation action. Alright, so we just need to validate the action. Now one thing you might need to do is when you click on this button, you now need to add a validate action. So click on this action here and you're going to come here, open this, and when you open it and you will add an action, and the first action that's going to happen is you need to validate the table. So we have some validation here, which we call validate form. There you go. So this action, when you click on the button, it should do the validation that you need. So let's see, you can select the form you need, and there we go. So we have the first form. Now you have this option here where you could just go ahead and add a conditional. I haven't done this before, but you can check this stuff. Conditional. I don't know if we can check if the form is validated or not. We should do, let's see. I'm clicking outside, so don't worry about it. Hey, what's going on? Okay, I get it. Single. Alright, we don't have that validation of the table. So basically to just validate and not go below. So the next action that we follow here is you doing what you want to do with the form input. So yeah, that is it for this video, guys. See you in the next.